So anyway, welcome to the show, whatever in the world we decided to call it. Basically, I'm supposed to be lemon, he's supposed to be lemonade, because I'm sour on everything, he's sweet. So, the first thing we're going to talk about, and we're going to go ahead and get this over with. We shot it.
Well, we gotta introduce ourselves.
I did introduce us. I'm lemon, you're
I know
lemonade.
what the lemon thing.
Go right ahead. Go ahead. Introduce yourself.
I'm Chris. This is Spike.
I'm the smart and savvy one. Yes, it's true. Go right ahead.
Yes. So, on this show, we're going to be talking about various things: movies, movie trailers. Of course, we're going to give our reviews on things. We're going to talk about what's happening in the world. We're going to be talking about a whole lot of things. This is our very first video, so bear with us. Things will get better as it goes along. But,
And I've driven him to distraction again because I dared to talk while he was talking.
do not do that.
We're just basically going to talk about whatever we want to talk about because, quite frankly, I'm fascinating. I don't know about the rest of you. And he's my comic relief. So it's great having your very own sidekick through life.
I am not no Robin.
The best part is, if your relations, you don't have to pay it. So, no, you ain't Robin's son. You ain't got the legs for Robin. Okay.
Oh.
So the first thing we're going to... Let me just make something straight, okay? I'm a DC fanboy. I hate Marvel. That's going to explain everything in the rest of this episode. We're going to start by talking about Captain Marvel, which was not necessarily a waste of my time. I mean, it's about roughly 2 hours, 20 minutes. But it's not time I'm going to be getting back, okay? Doggone it, I'm not going to see that movie again. I'm sure there are people watching it again because it's still making money. It's as we record this, it's in its second weekend release. It's just topped the $200 million mark, and I hope it does make a lot of money because I hope Marvel makes more of these movies because I hate Marvel. I hate Marvel. Marvel is about to go into a very strange place. It's a place that DC has been for quite a while. Ever since Tim Burton made Batman back in 1989, they've been stuck in the dark. Okay? You can look at a DC movie since 1989, you haven't been able to tell what in the world's going on because it's so dark. That was the sexy thing. Everything had to be dark because all they made were Batman movies. Okay, which is fine for Batman. Batman wears black and gray and mostly black and little gray bat nipples and stuff whenever. But it comes down to the fact that dark doesn't work with most other superheroes, okay? Black Panther can be dark, but he didn't have to be because he told an interesting story. Superman cannot be dark because that's not what his character is. Wonder Woman was not dark because they actually got an intelligent filmmaker there, and they decided not to film it in the dark. And now that brings us up to the Flash. Of course, we'll get back to Marvel and Captain Marvel and Avengers and all the rest of those in a minute. But news came out this past weekend that Ezra Miller, who is the star on the new Flash movie that Warner Brothers swears up and down they're going to release sometime this century, he wants to take over the writing chores on his movie, and he wants Grant Morrison to back him up on it to be his co-writer. Apparently, he doesn't feel that the Flash is serious enough, being treated seriously enough in its yeah, for reals, and it's the problem is, I have said before that there's not enough of a sense of humor in these comic book movies. The Flash does have a sense of humor. Okay, Shazam coming up has a sense of humor. It wears its heart on its sleeve. It's not funny, ha-ha, as in like a sitcom or a slapstick or anything like that. But it kind of has like a little grin because it's just enjoying how awesome it is as it films. The Flash is supposed to be more of a Back to the Future type comedy. So in other words, yes, the Flash is going to be doing time travel.
No.
That was the now. I agree with Ezra Miller. You should not be doing yet another time travel thing.
Not
for
for
the
his
Flash.
first movie. For his first solo movie, they should not do the, what do they call it, the paradox, or not paradox?
Flashpoint is what it
Flashpoint,
originally was. And
It
it's
was
been,
wanted to do a Flashpoint as for the first solo Flash movie, and that's not a good idea because Flashpoint brings in everybody, and that's not what it should be. Just him. So go ahead.
the Flash is not an easy character to write. Okay, because sit down and think about it for a minute. The Flash travels just shy. His maximum speed is just shy of the speed of light. Okay, so literally by the time one of your brain synapses is able to fire an electrical charge to the next brain synapse, he's already beaten you to a bloody pulp, hauled you off to prison, and you're collecting dust with all the other mushrooms in the bottom floor. Okay, so it's kind of hard to write a character like that when he can win just like that. What do you do with the rest of the movie? What do you do with the rest of the episode? You have to either make him an idiot, which is what the CW does with their show, or you take him in a different direction and he's not your average, ordinary beat-em-up superhero. The Flash is the closest thing to an intellectual superhero in comics right now, but they're treating him like a sitcom star in the current treatment. Ezra Miller wants to treat him like the Dark Flash or something.
But is that a bad thing for him to be kind of comedic?
There's nothing wrong with having a sense of humor, okay? But there is something wrong with casting the Flash in Married with Children, okay? That don't do that. They've already done that. If you don't believe me, look up Justice League TV series and look for the YouTube videos. Believe me, they're out there. They are hilarious. Not quite on the same level as Star Wars Christmas special hilarious, but still unintentionally hilarious. The Flash, like I said, you either have to treat him as a complete goofball, or you're going to have to treat him with respect. The comics did a great job with making the Flash all about legacy and history, because there's been more than one Flash. And this comes as a surprise to people who've watched the TV show, or maybe not so much, because now you got a Kid Flash, you got XS, you got all these other little speedsters running around. In the comics, there's the first Flash appeared in 1940. That was Jay Garrick, the original Flash. And the current Flash, Barry Allen, was created in the late 50s to serve as a kickoff point to see if superheroes would work anymore. And then in the 80s, Barry Allen was killed saving the Earth, which is a good reason to kill a superhero. And his death actually stuck for about 20 years. And then his kid Flash, Wally West, took over as the Flash for about 20 years. And that was awesome because Wally West worshipped his uncle Barry Allen, but he also knew who Jay Garrick was, because when the Flash saved the Earth, all the Earths came together. The Earth that Jay Garrick was the Flash of suddenly found himself on the same Earth with Wally West. And so Jay Garrick kind of became like a mentor to it. And soon they brought back other less famous, less well-known speedsters to basically sit in and help Wally West become the best Flash and best hero he could be. And then they introduced Barry's grandson, I think, Bart Allen. He wound up becoming Kid Flash for a while. He was known as Impulse, and all these speedsters, including Wally and stuff, had to teach this young kid how to be a responsible hero. That's what the book became about. It became about Wally, it became about his family, it became about the Flash and the Flash's relations to other heroes. And guess what? People ate it up. They absolutely loved it. The Flash was one of the best-selling books that DC had for years under Jeff Johns, the guy who currently runs DC, or at least helps. So that's what I would like to see, but it's complicated. It takes time. You have to build up to it. You have to be able to write. You have to know what a plot is. You have to know what tropes apply here. And you have to basically not tell a standard superhero story to tell and to make the Flash that interesting legacy character that he is. Yes, something to add.
No, I mean, I see what you're saying. You're right. I mean, it can be done. It can be done like that if you have the right people to do it. I don't know if he's the right person to do it because I've never seen, like, he's never actually tried to do anything like this as far as I know of. I could be wrong. To where I say, oh, you know, he can really write or he can really direct or anything like that. He was fine in the Justice League, but the Justice League had a whole lot of other things going on. So, I mean, if somebody else gave it another chance, they could probably write him very well in the next Justice League movie or in the next Flash movie, whatever. It could be done very well. So I'm not going to throw him away just yet. Because, I mean, honestly, I'm still kind of stuck on the TV show. I like that Flash more than any of them.
The Justice League movie, the problem it had was it suffered from a severe case of Snyderitis.
Well, now, the thing about, look, one thing about Snyder is that he has certain ways that he does his movies. Like,
Yes, he shoots them all out of his bunghole.
Like, he has hits and misses, okay? Watchmen I loved. Man of Steel I loved. What, really? You didn't like Watchmen?
Watchmen has now been on Netflix for a while, okay? Still haven't seen it. Don't want to see it. I've read the original book when it came out in 1986. I actually had some of the original 12 issues that came out in comic shops. The most overrated comic book creation of the last 40 years is The Watchmen. Way too much influence on everything comic book related. That's what helped inspire Tim Burton to do Batman the way he did, was the grim and gritty that and Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. Grimdark had its place in 1986. Not in 2019. Not in 2009 or 1987 for that matter. But anyway, yeah, the Dark has been a problem with the DC movie universe for a while now.
But they're getting better.
They're getting better.
I mean, with what they did with Wonder Woman and Aquaman, it's almost like that they've actually learned what the problems were.
Yes, Snyder.
And yes, I got to admit, okay, look, Snyder doesn't need to do every damn DC movie that there is. He does not need that. Let other people, you know, a lot of people had problems with Joss Whedon coming in on Justice League, but Joss Whedon is a freaking master. I mean, Firefly, Buffy, Angel, the list goes on with him. He's a genius. He just came in to clean up the mess. Okay, so the blame of Justice League, whether you like it or not, should not be put on either one of them. Snyder was going through a tragic thing that happened to his family, but yet he thought, hey, I'm going to come back to work. People saw that wasn't a good idea and that there was issues on the filming, so they got rid of him. He whines about getting fired. They brought in Joss Whedon to do what he could, but it was Warner Brothers' fault that literally said, we still want this movie to come out at this time. So do what you can so we can still release it on this date. So he did. And that's why Justice League literally became But
Okay, I'm going to explain why the Justice League movie sucked as hard as it did, okay? First, let me give you the Snyder cut, okay? There you go. Now you're looking at Justice League, the Snyder cut. World premiere, everybody. Congratulations. Now, let me present the Joss Whedon version of Justice League, okay? Here he is. Look at the pretty monkey. That's the Joss Whedon version right there, okay? Justice League sucked.
Monkey twerk.
Had sucked, will suck. I don't care if you release the Snyder cut, the pizza cut, the bowl cut. It doesn't matter. Nobody needs to see the Justice League anymore, okay? However, the grimdark, the whole black, the whole Snyder-esque thing finally went away with Wonder Woman. You could actually see what was going on. There were still some gritty scenes in there, still some dark scenes, but you could at least see what was going on. Okay, and with Aquaman, 1,000 times even better than anything in any of the movies before Wonder Woman. Okay?
Yes.
You could see
The
what was going on,
outfits,
and again, a sense of humor.
Yes, the outfits in that movie, everything from the costumes to you're telling a story underneath water too. That's not easy to do for a live action thing. Animated, yeah, I mean, but they literally knocked it out on this, which is like you can totally tell the difference between Aquaman and how Aquaman performed underwater in Justice League, because it's like they have to have a bubble to talk when that shouldn't be, because they live in the water. So it's like, why do you need a bubble to talk?
It's a superhero movie. You've already suspended your disbelief. You can suspend your disbelief that people can talk underwater.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I like how Aquaman literally did what it did, and I think that's fantastic. And I have high hopes. I think Shazam is going to be a total different level, because I don't think you're actually, if you're going into Shazam saying, oh, I'm going to go see a great superhero movie, don't, because I don't think that's what it's going to be about. He's not going to go save the day. I think it's just literally going to be this kid being a grown-up and like, hey, I'm a grown-up now and I have superpowers. I want to be a superhero. But it's going to literally tell that whole story before he goes off and saves the world. I think that's what's going to happen in Shazam, at least. I think it's, people are comparing it to Big, and I hope that they're right, because I think that they're going to...
It follows the same concept as Big, because you have a little kid who suddenly gets the body of an adult. But there's two complicating factors here that separate it from Big. First of all, in Big, the kid wanted to get back to being a kid because he got to be an adult and got into a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Shazam is different, because every time Billy Batson yells Shazam, he turns into Captain Marvel. Yes, Captain Marvel, not Shazam. And then when Captain Marvel says Shazam, he turns back to Billy Batson. So he can go back and forth anytime he wants. If you've read the comics, Billy Batson's actually learned how to weaponize the Shazam lightning. If he's taking on Superman, he says Shazam because Superman's weak to magic, and the lightning is magical, so all he has to do is grab Superman, hold him up between himself and the sky, and yell Shazam, and the wizard Shazam basically kicks Superman's butt for him. So one complicating factor that separates this from Big is the fact that he can go back and forth at will, so he's not stuck as an adult. Second, he's still Billy Batson. He's got the big, bulky 25-year-old build of whoever the actor is playing him.
Zachary Levi.
Zachary Levi. Yeah, sorry, Mr. Levi. So he still has the mind of Billy Batson inside of him, but it's not just Billy Batson in there. He's got the strength. He's got the wisdom of Solomon. He has the strength of Hercules. He has the stamina of Atlas. The power of Zeus, the speed of Achilles, the speed of Mercury, and something else is the A. I can't remember. It's been a while. So anyway, he's got all these other voices wandering around his head, but most of all, he has the wisdom of Solomon in there. Okay, so it's not just Billy in there, it's Billy being tempered because now he's wise beyond his years and he's got to get used to that. He wants, now that he's 25, the first thing he wants to do is go out and buy a beer and see what's so great about it. But Captain Marvel's going to know, because of the wisdom of Solomon, there's nothing great about drinking beer. You'll get there when you get there, okay? Billy, you don't need a beer. If they go that route, this could be one of the most incredibly complicated and sophisticated superhero movies, and it'll be a laugh riot because people are going to see there's a kid's point of view, there's an adult point of view, and then there's everybody in between, because not all adults have grown up like Captain Marvel has.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a game changer that people are not going to expect, and that's a great thing. That's totally a great thing, and I think it's a great thing for DC because, I like Marvel and DC, but growing up, I am more of a DC fan than Marvel because they have a whole lot more interesting characters, a whole lot more interesting villains, and so on and so on. Which is why I love DC more. But I like Marvel more of their movies than honestly their comic books though. But so I think with DC that this is going to be a total game changer because, even though I don't like to get into the mess of people saying, "Oh, DC sucks, Marvel's better," or all that bunch of crap, I'm actually hoping that DC is going to start proving them wrong, especially when Marvel is now, when it comes to the movies, they're pretty much ending their run. It's with their main characters. Like they're going to start a new chapter with all the new heroes, but I don't know. I think people are going to have a hard time moving on without Iron Man, Captain America, probably the Hulk and all of them. Don't get me wrong, Spider-Man, Black Panther, all of them are amazing, which they did do a damn good job on those. Mm-hmm. But, do we really want to see another Captain Marvel movie?
We don't need another Captain Marvel movie. Okay, Captain Marvel is there because she's going to be a plot point in the new Avengers movie. That's why they made Captain Marvel. I could get into the history behind Captain Marvel, and maybe I'll do that on the next episode because that's going to take a half hour on its own. Okay, but just realize after seeing the Captain Marvel movie, like I said, I'm not getting that time back. I wasn't angry with it. I wasn't disappointed with it because I didn't have very high hopes for it to begin with. But I'm going to make one quick prediction here before everything's said and done. Watch and see over the next few years. Okay, DC went through their grimdark period, like I said, since '89 basically, and every movie had to be dark, every movie had to be heavy, every movie had to be gritty. Marvel managed to kick things off back with Iron Man 1. And yes, it was not the brightest, most Pollyanna-ish setup in the world. I mean, we're talking about a guy with his heart ripped out, building a suit of armor in a cave with a box of scraps. But you could literally see what was going on in the movie. Okay, and for a long time, the movies that kept that sense of heart that I was talking about with Shazam a little while ago, that sense of heart, that was Iron Man, that was Spider-Man, Black Panther had heart. Thor didn't until the third movie. The third movie had heart. The first two, the Hulk never had heart. And quite frankly, Captain Marvel didn't have any heart to it. Captain Marvel is what you're going to be seeing a lot more of in the future. Darker films, both cinematically, the way they film it is going to use lower light levels, and thematically, they're going to get into darker, more realistic things. The Mary Marvel method of storytelling that worked fine in the 60s and 70s when a bunch of hippies wanted realism in their comic books. Nowadays, not so much. They're going to be walking a tight line. Meanwhile, DC has finally emerged from the dark. They're out of the grimdark stage now. You can finally see what's going on in the movies, and they're actually telling it with heart. Wonder Woman wasn't about I'm a woman, hear me roar. She was about a woman who actually cared about the people around her, who had good relationships with the people around her. And when she saw a challenge, she depended on those people to help point her in the right direction so she could get the right strategy and get things accomplished.
Yeah.
Okay? That was empowering in a positive way.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel was empowering, not in
No.
a positive way. I'm not going to say negative, but not in a positive way, because all she did was she would blast things in the face, just like I'm doing with the special effect I add in here in post-production. But, yes, I just blew his head off. Anyway,
That's not cool.
the Captain Marvel, she was empowering in the wrong way. All she had was power.
She was not powerful or powering.
Empowering. Yes.
Yeah, empowering in any way, because literally she didn't have any struggles at all. I know a lot of people was online saying or trying to, defend Captain Marvel by saying, oh, well, that's the way it is in the comic book. She didn't know who she was, so she was battling that. But
Yes.
it didn't go nowhere.
But the comic books suck too.
It didn't
Good.
go nowhere because, like her struggles was not just finding out who she was. It's almost like she didn't really care who she was, because Brie Larson didn't show any emotion that she wanted so badly to find out who she was. It was almost like, oh, we're going to go to this story and we're just going to give it to her and say, okay, here's a flash to give you a little insight about who you used to be, and then the next scene is her going like, well, who do I get to punch in the face next? Like, that's pretty much it. There was no, like, she didn't have any emotion on any of that. And I know that before the movie even came out, there was a lot of people saying, well, she doesn't smile, and other people were going like, well, that's the way she's supposed to be in the comics and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know. I never read none of the Captain Marvel books, but
See, he smiled.
but it's like, if you want to feel for a character, you have to give them something to work with. This movie did not do that with the character, and the character didn't seem to be interested in anything at all, or what she was even doing. Like, she didn't even have, like, she has all these great powers, but she didn't have to, like, discover how to control her powers or nothing like that. It didn't tell that. It's like at the beginning of the movie, it's like she has somebody training her, but they automatically go from talking about training to, oh, we gotta go and fight some enemies, and they take her with them, and it's like, how do you do that with somebody who can't control their powers already?
It's simple. You say, we're going to do some training, and then she's trained.
Yeah,
That's all you have to do is say, okay, you're trained now.
it's
Okay.
like
And when you're shooting people in the face like this,
not again.
yes. When you're shooting people in the face like that, how much training do you need? You just make sure you're pointed in the right direction and you do this, okay?
It was a special effects.
That's boring.
It's
You're boring, Captain Marvel.
and what
That is the cardinal sin for a Marvel movie too. Be boring.
like, I mean, this character was supposed to be really something, because this character, one, was Marvel's first female lead character.
Even though it originally wasn't female.
True. But that's what it was supposed to be. And it was supposed to be like the character was supposed to take on Thanos. And so it's like you was really rooting for this character, But then you watch the movie and you're just sitting there going like, okay, so she's literally Superman, but doesn't even have the green rock to weaken her at all. Like, there's nothing there to weaken her, which means she's, is it a one-dimensional character?
One-dimensional character. Let me explain what a one-dimensional character is. When your character development is at the end of a different movie, and you see your logo on a little '90s beeper. If that's all your character development, you're one-dimensional.
I mean, the movie just, it was really, really disappointing. A total letdown. I was let down in so many ways. And the fight scenes were all over the place. Like, they did not, it's almost like, okay, we're going to change some things. Instead of you kicking that person, I want you to punch them. And it's almost like they didn't actually hire a professional to come in and do the fight scenes. And then it got dark. They actually went DC dark on the fight scenes. Like, you couldn't see what the hell was happening. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? How did they go from Marvel to DC here? You know? It was horrible. And I don't know. Like, there was actually at the end of the movie where she's talking to her best friend and she's just like, she starts crying about something. You don't even know what the hell she's crying about. Like, this was right before they go and try to save and do this and all that. And it's like she's crying about how she can't do it. And then her friend's trying to tell her she can. And it's like, oh, okay. Why are you crying now? You literally went and you fought these people. You went and fought these people. You went one-on-one with one of these other aliens without even hesitating. And you're crying now about you can't do it? It's like, why? You've already proven that you can. You are more powerful than pretty much anything on the planet. And you're crying that you can't do it? All you gotta do is go over there and punch them or do this, and then there you go, you saved the world. You know, I don't understand really any of that.
The important thing is the new Avengers movie is coming. And if she is really the deus ex machina that's going to solve the Thanos zapped everybody to dust thing.
But I think that it's going to be different because you got the Russo brothers who's doing it. Okay, Russo brothers have already proven themselves big time.
What they do.
So, what they do? They make some great movies.
Yeah, name one.
What?
He can't name any.
Civil War was an awesome movie. Winter Soldier. I mean, you got a bunch. I mean, how can you did not like none of those movies? Really?
No, I like those movies. I just wanted you to actually provide some examples as you.
I hope you add this in, like.
Yeah.
Look
There's
at
your big
all
little smoke clouds going off there. Okay, we need to wrap this up because I know we're.
All I'm saying is that
Way
I'm
into it.
hoping that they're actually going to do something with this character in the next movie, and proven just like. Kind of like what they did with the Hulk for me. Like, I didn't care. I don't like the Hulk because it's like a kid having a temper tantrum. Break everything, yell and scream and all that. It wasn't until literally like Thor Ragnarok where they actually gave the character more. And I was like, okay, now that's the type of Hulk I can get into. So I'm hoping that they'll do the same thing in the Endgame movie with Captain Marvel, is that they'll make her more likable, more character.
In other words, character development, which her own filmmakers didn't do, by the way. So let's wrap this up now. To summarize what we've got here so far, well, we're looking forward to the new Shazam movie.
Yeah, most of them, but I like.
I hope it's going to be everything I think it'll be. Wonder Woman movie was really good. Aquaman was good. Captain Marvel, cockpit.
Yeah.
But and then with the upcoming upcoming Avengers movie. All I can say is you guys got some work to do.
This is the type of stuff we're going to be well, I mean, not just comic book related or movie related, but yeah, we're going to be talking more on like TV shows and also like, again, things that are happening outside, things that is going on in the world. We're going to give our own opinion and things like that. And as we go along with our shows, we will like ask you guys if there's any type of topic that you want to ask us, that you want our 2 cents in on, and or
All three
anything
of you.
else. Yeah. So
Okay. So for Chris, I'm Spike. We wish you all the best. We'll see you somewhere down the road. Until next time, just remember, cockpit and big balls.